Algebra, like any subject, can seem like a foreign language if you don't pay attention to the terminology. In algebra, you move from concrete math to something that's more abstract. Algebra introduces the concept of a variable or a quantity that is unknown. For example, over the course of 3 weeks at her job, Alyssa earned the following amounts. Her pay depends on how many hours she works. Her hours vary based on how busy the company she works for is, staffing levels, if she's available for a shift, and other factors. How would we determine how much she makes per hour? We can do that by dividing her pay by the number of hours she works. So she is paid $7.25 per hour. Now we can write an equation about her wages. P equals the $7.25 per hour times the number of hours she works. 7 25/100 is a constant. It is a number that does not change in our equation. H is a variable. It stands for hours in this case. There is an implied times sign between the constant and the variable. In algebra, we drop the times sign because we don't want to confuse it with the variable x. Whenever you see an equal sign, you are working with an equation. Think of an equation as a sentence. It is a complete thought. In fact, it is often possible to substitute the word is with an equal sign. An expression is a phrase. It's an incomplete thought. Can you identify the expressions in this example? Because equations are complete thoughts or sentences, they have equal signs, so the expressions would be the ones that do not have an equal sign. Defy Gravity, an indoor trampoline park, charges by the half hour for open jumping and dodgeball based on the expression below. Use the expression to fill out the following table. If we take 10 times a half an hour plus the 3.5, for 30 minutes of jumping, it costs $8.50. Repeat with 10 times 1 hour, and for 1 hour of jumping, it's $13.50. Substitute 1.5 in for t, and it's $18.50 for 1.5 hours of jumping. And finally, substitute 2 in for t, and it would cost $23.50 for 2 hours. Can we write an expression that explains how taxi rates work in New York City? First, what's our constant, the charge that doesn't change? The minute we close the door on the cab, we have agreed to pay $3. What are the variables? What changes? Well, the mileage changes, and the time we spend in traffic varies from cab ride to cab ride. We have to choose our variables carefully when writing an expression. Even though we'd like to use m for miles and m for minutes, we need two different variables. Unless you are told what to use for your variables, there is no definitive answer here. Your expression may be 3 plus 2m plus 4/10 t, where m stands for miles and t is the time stopped or in traffic. One of your classmates may choose 3 plus 2x plus 4/10 y. If your teacher asks you to declare your variables, he or she wants to make sure that everyone knows exactly what each variable stands for, so there is no confusion. Much of algebra is centered around solving equations. An equation is solved when the value found for the variable makes the equation true. What value for x makes the following equation true? At the moment, the only tools you have in your bag of tricks are to make a table, trying each value for x until you find the correct answer, or make an educated guess and check to see if you are right. Mentally ask yourself 3 times what number subtracting 5 is 28. If we substitute 10 in for x, is the equation true? 3 times 10, 30, minus 5, does that equal 28? No. So we are close, but we need a larger result. So we can try to substitute 11 in for x. 3 times 11 minus 5, does that equal 28? 33 minus 5 is 28. So the equation is true, so x must be equal to 11. It's not a very efficient way to solve equations, but it is a start. Stay tuned, and we'll add to our bag of tricks soon.